Right, hello and welcome back to Re-Evolutionary YouTube Tribe. See, yeah. Hello and welcome back to the Re-Evolutionaries Tribe YouTube channel. I'm your host with the most, and your de facto chief of TRT, short for the Re-Evolutionary Tribe, as you can see, kind of fumbles in your mouth. But yeah, and also known as Dan the Man with the $1 billion plans, and those plans are to basically take your everybody's donations and all the profits that I make from businesses, and give it back to those that basically donated. And because when you eliminate greed, then there's enough for everybody's needs. And I guess I'm just here. I guess my mission here, when I look within, I've asked myself many a times, the greatest vision that comes up is to live by example of generating billions, but giving back to not only my employees but society, right? And basically creating a better playground, right? So that's why, even though I'm going to be rich, I won't be able to relate to a lot of these other rich people whose only game is to, like, I want another mansion here, and I want another house here, and I want another supercar there. And it's like, and then they're constantly wondering, like, why, even though they're making gobs of money, they still feel no real satisfaction and wholeness. Some of them have come around to, like, yes, helping people is better, but not necessarily, what's it called? Not necessarily enacting on it either. Or if they act on it, they enact in such a way that it's such a bandage, right? That way, like, okay, I did something. I can get it off my conscience now, right? I donated to charity, right? I don't care if the charity is actually, just a facade, or most of the money just goes to the people that work there. And sometimes it's not like the people that worked in the thing are paying themselves a lot. They're just paying enough to survive, but there just isn't enough donations in there coming in to basically have any extra abundance to give to those that really need. And that's what people don't understand. That's what I'm going to show with my numbers here. Eventually, when I break down to you guys in the video, what I'm going to do with your donations, right? And hopefully you guys make it go viral and everything else. But anyways, so yeah, and since, okay, oh shit, sorry. Since I know a lot about law, it's funny how it all came together. It's beautiful. Once you guys you wrap your heads around it, right? To some of you, it might take a couple hours. Some of you might take a couple of days. Some take a couple months to really wrap your head around it. Basically, because it's you gift me a donation without anything in return, even though I did give you something in return, but it wasn't expected, right? We're just gifting each other, right? Just like I'm gifting you my time and my interpretation of these books, and if those things that I gift you improve your life in many different ways, then in a sense that was your return for you gifting me your attention, right? Because YouTube will pay me through that or whatever, So, but outside of that, again, donating, right? Because you gave a donation and you didn't expect anything in return. I already give you enough value, which is basically what I'm fundamentally saying. Hey, if you found this valuable, donate whatever you can, ideally monthly, because when you watch the video of what I'm going to do with those, it's essentially I will basically give you a return, but it wasn't like in contract. It wasn't like I didn't sell stocks, I didn't sell securities, none of that stuff, right? So, and that's what the beautiful thing about it is that when I give you money back, however that much that it is, actually my ultimate goal is to train you to get it how to get it yourself. And if you need a little bit of financial help, I'll pay down some of your credit card debts, usually because that's what it boils down to, right? To lower your credit utilization, you raise money, and then we band together all our money, right? Because if it's just, even if I'm a multimillionaire, right? Even if I'm a billionaire, just single digit billionaire, there are 3-digit billionaires, right? There's levels to the levels, they say, and I just say it's a spectrum. There's a spectrum, right? So even with all that money, I can only help so many people. But if you get $100,000 the way I teach you, another person gets 100. Basically, 100 of us gets $100,000. What does that mean, right? So now I combine my millions or billions, or whatever, right? And ultimately, it boils down to chartering a bank. Last I recall, now with inflation, I'm going to estimate it's about 50 million, but originally it was about 40 million. From the last time I calculated, I'm going to clip a movie called The Bank of Dave to prove that basically that's how much it is. I kind of want to watch it again because it inspired me to be like, this guy, this guy also understands how money really, really works. Because there's people who have millions and billions and don't even understand. Fair. Some of them could say, yes, I know the Federal Reserve, like Elon Musk. But has Elon Musk opened a bank? I don't think he has. Right? Oh, shit. Damn it. Oh, well. Seaweed on the ground. He hasn't. And had he might have been able to do some interesting things. But in a sense, with him having stocks, in a sense, he can create money when he needs money, he can sell those stocks, basically, right? But it's nothing like actually having the chartering license, right? The license to, in a sense, counterfeit money. It's not truly counterfeiting because there's a system and it's been approved, right? And there are rules, right? You can only, you can only magnify whatever currency you have in reserve. You can only magnify that 9 times, right? Through credit, right? So you guys got to watch the Mondragon Experiment. Eventually, I'll be breaking down that movie on here too, and you'll see that what I'm proposing is not anything new per se. It is different, but it has been done in the past, and you should be happy because then you obviously have a living, breathing model that shows you that, hey, this is actually possible. But we, the people, have to get our shit together. We have to overcome this monetary toxic money views and a bunch of other stuff, which is what this book's all about. So all right, let's continue with track 8.
Now try to follow this. Fight to keep up because this gets very subtle here. Are you ready?
I think so.
Good. Remember, you've asked for this explanation. You've waited for it for years. You've asked for it in layman's terms, not theological doctrines or scientific theories.
Yes, I know what I've asked.
And having asked, so shall you receive. Now, to keep things simple, I'm going to use your Children of God mythological model as a basis for discussion, because it is a model with which you're very familiar, and in many ways, it is not that far off. So let's go back to how this process of self-knowing must work. There is one way I could have caused all of my spiritual children to know themselves as parts of me, and that was simply to tell them. This I did. But you see, it was not enough for spirit to simply know itself as God, or part of God, or children of God, or inheritors of the kingdom, or whatever mythology you want to use. As I've already explained, knowing something and experiencing it are two different things. Spirit longed to know itself experientially, just as I did.
So obviously some of you who are coming here for the first time be like, what is this? This is kind of trying to represent what God is talking about, so you have some kind of visual, So if you skip the part, yes, there's a lot of context you have lost if you haven't obviously start from the beginning, but which I guess I won't cover now because then it won't be unfair to people who are now at this point, so sorry about that.
Conceptual awareness was not enough for you. So I devised a plan. It is the most extraordinary idea in all the universe and the most spectacular collaboration. I say collaboration because all of you are in it with me. Under the plan, you as spirit would enter the physical universe just created. This is because physicality is the only way to know experientially what you know conceptually. It is, in fact, the reason I created the physical cosmos to begin with, and the system of relativity which governs it, and all creation. Once in the physical universe, you, my spirit children, could experience what you know of yourself. But first you had to come...
Okay, so this is the representation of the spirit children, right? What we call souls, higher self. Again, there is the highest self, which is God. Then there's the higher self, which is the soul, and then there's the self, which is the flesh in the physical realm,
No, the opposite. To explain this simply, you cannot know yourself as tall unless and until you become aware of short.
Okay, so apart from God, obviously separating itself into different souls, right? So it can have companionship. Again, the greatest gift God gave to itself, which is us, there's only one of us being, was relationship, right? But in order, good, we're right here. So in order for you to experience love, not just know love, feel love in the sense of just like conceptually, right? You want to experience love, right? So you must have the opposite, which is fear, hate, anger, whatever, right? War, and then so that has to exist in order for you to experience love.
You cannot experience the part of yourself that you call fat unless you also come to know thin.
So we could put over here thin, fat, up, down, left, right, sun, moon, man, woman, whatever.
Taken to ultimate logic, you cannot experience yourself as what you are until you've encountered what you are not. This is the purpose of the theory of relativity and all physical life. It is by that which you are not that you yourself are defined. Now, in the case of the ultimate knowing, in the case of knowing yourself as the creator, you cannot experience yourself as creator unless and until you create. And you cannot create yourself until you uncreate yourself. In a sense, you have to first not be in order to be. Do you follow?
I think.
Stay with it. Of course, there's no way for you to not be who and what you are. You simply are that pure creative spirit. Have been, always, and always will be. So you did the next best thing. You caused yourself to forget who you really are. Upon entering the physical universe, you relinquished your remembrance of yourself. This allows you to choose to be who you are, rather than simply wake up in the castle, so to speak. It is in the act of choosing to be, rather than simply being told that you are a part of God, that you experience yourself as being at total choice, which is what, by definition, God is. Yet, how can you have a choice about something over which there is no choice? You cannot not be my offspring, no matter how hard you try. But you can forget. You are, have always been, and will.
And so what I'm just demonstrating here is that these are people who have remembered, but that they're going to choose to forget, right? And these people that forgot, but now are choosing to remember. And this basically, I was thinking of putting a yin yang picture here, but maybe I'll do it later. Eventually, I am going to simplify all this because it's like at the end of the day, like God says, like, okay, what's the point of all this? Like certain things, just let it be sacred. You don't have to worry about it. Okay, focus on what's in front of you right now. Let mysteries be mysteries, because at the end of the day, that's what I'm saying. Eventually, it gets real, and so I'm going to really realize for people, which I have through my other Miro things that I mapped out. Basically, I created a life map of basically the only real paths most humans go through, basically, and it's okay, what destination do you want to go to, because there's no right or wrong. So here's a map on how to do that, and basically stay focused to get there.
Always be a divine part of the divine whole, a member of the body. That is why the act of rejoining the whole, of returning to God, is called remembrance. You actually choose to remember who you really are, or to join together with the various parts of you to experience the all of you, which is to say, the all of me. Your job on earth, therefore, is not to learn because you already know, but to remember who you are and to remember who everyone else is. That is why a big part of your job is to remind others, that is, to remind them so that they can remember also. All the wonderful spiritual teachers have been doing just that. It is your sole purpose. That is to say, your soul purpose.
My God, this is so simple and so symmetrical. I mean, it all fits in. It suddenly all fits. I see now a picture I've never quite put together before.
Good. That's good. That is the purpose of this dialogue. You have asked me for answers. I have promised I would give them to you. You will render my words accessible to many people. It is part of your work. Now you have many questions, many inquiries to make about life. We have here placed the foundation. We've laid the groundwork for other understandings. Let's go to the other questions, and don't worry, if there is something about what we've just gone through you do not understand, it'll all become clear to you soon enough.
All right, this is one of those rare kind of short tracks, but Yeah, I guess at the end here I can just recap since it's one of those short ones, right? This is what I'm trying to portray here in kind of a messy way. But eventually, again, this is my canvas right now, and we'll be cleaning it up. But so yeah, basically, one thing you got to learn is that you are a part of love, not apart from love. Meaning, this is not you over here, and this is your soul over here, and this is God over here. No, you're all. It's all within itself, right? As I kind of showed here before I messed all this up. I might have to reduce that because damn. Yeah. Oh yeah. So there we go. We can do it like this. Blessed. Okay. We can't do it right now. It's gonna take too long because this thing doesn't know how to send it to back. But even if I send it to back, it's still gonna think it's selecting it. All right. Whatever. All right, so yeah, so you are within yourself. We are within ourselves. There's only one particle actually being, to put in a more scientific kind of perspective, right? There's only one of us being, one particle. This particle can and does divide, obviously, itself into multiple. Oh, we're getting to this point here. Well, actually, I can this thing's in the, yeah. So particle before, yeah. This is okay. So yeah, this is the thing. Okay, this is before it divides itself. So obviously, as you can see here, we remove. Oh, come on, really? Okay, I can't do that. I guess it's separate. So if we remove these words, right, just if we get closer, right, let's say like this. See, it seems like nothing's there, right? But as we zoom out, right, we still won't see anything. This is just words trying to describe that in here is just because you can't see anything doesn't mean nothing exists, but the raw energy does. And that energy eventually collapses into basically one particle, right? Now, of course, again, here this is no actual boundaries, but while we're in this dimension, we can only understand with boundaries, right? To basically to have a relativity, right? Because we're like, wait, what are we comparing this to? Eventually, like, wait, what? So
3 hours.
So this is this is the infinite space that God has to expand itself, and it has no limit, right? So these vapors collapse into a very concentrated, basically what we would call something physical, and then that physical, does the Big Bang, and basically, but there's the spiritual Big Bang, which is it divides itself into souls, kind of like a baby zygote, right? And then within that infinite space, it creates these physical realms, right? Multiverses, dimensions, what do you want to call them, right? And the souls, are all about exploring, right, the space, and some will be attracted to this physical realm or that realm, whatever, right? And then eventually the physical bodies will be. This is what. I guess the double O is because. Okay, hold on. See, I gotta show the. Yeah, see, this is the self. Hold on, let me see if we can. Instead, see, that's why I like. You're gonna see me use a lot of those sticky notes because, I should call it the physical body, right? So the soul will jump into the physical body, multiple physical bodies, right? And it's gonna. So each physical body will have its spectrum of how creative and destructive it was, right? Because remember, there is no right or wrong. But we are either creating or destroying, right? Life is either being constructed or being destroyed. Not necessarily truly destroyed, but changing form from a base form just to like, what's it called? How do we call it? It's like, think about it, when things die, right? There are microbes that are breaking things down, but then there are microbes that are also connecting and building an overall being, right? Whether it's a plant, an animal, whatever, right? So that's what I mean by creation and destruction is happening at the exact same time, right? There are people dying right now, and there's people being born. What's the ratio? We don't know. It doesn't really matter per se. But yeah, so these souls, right, go into physical bodies in these realms and have experiences, and then eventually, they come out, and you could say they graduated from that school, which is really not really it. They're just like, okay, been to this realm here. Oops, it's physical spirit. I've been to this realm here. Time to go to this realm where this thing is happening, right? And then they do blah 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 blah, right? From good to evil, as you would call it now, right? Until you learn that didn't exist, and then it's like, okay, I'm going to go here. I'm going to play all the spectrums. I'm going to go here, right? And these are basically Like I think I tried to show over here, the top picture, that's what I was trying to show in the top picture. Come on. Top picture is they're all on each other, right? If you could view from God's view, you would see they're all on each other. But anyways, my vans are going to start kicking, even though I'm trying my new microphone here that keeps glitching for some reason. I don't know. It's tricky. I can't wait to get a new Mac. Supposedly these new chips or the fans won't even turn on. We'll see. But all right, peace out till the next one, guys. Remember, don't forget to donate, like, comment, subscribe, all that jazz. I got in the script here that I should say it every time because yeah, unfortunately you do have to say it. You do have to nudge people's mind to be like, oh, okay, yeah, let me like, comment, and subscribe. I know in time this is going to get crazy, and you'll see, and it's going to be a wonderful group we're going to have here because partly because of me. I don't. Well, that's a whole other story. We'll talk about it later. Peace.